Hi everyone, my name is David. Thank you for watching again. Today's video is about dating, actually serial dating. Something that affects, or something that you guys, a lot of you guys do. Something that narcissists do, huh? Narcissists, borderline, sociopath, serial date. So I just want to talk about a little bit, just to let you guys know what's going on in here and why this is happening, and hopefully just kind of tell you some things you can do. So this is a big problem with narcissists and lots of survivors of narcissism. Failed relationships, you know. Several things are going on in individuals, but society has been determining that we date one person only all the time. And I don't mean commitment. I'm talking dating, okay? Back in the old days, right? I don't mean to sound like I was born in 1850, but not too long ago, and still some people do this. And actually I think it's, well, I know it's healthier and better, and I'll tell you why, but it's becoming more common now to, if I go on a date with you, then it has to be totally exclusive, like that's it. You know, like almost like you commit already off a date or two, you know? And the problem is dating on itself with human beings typically lasts about 6 months. A lot of things going on in here, and why. We only date one person at a time. Is what that does is it's not allowing us to find out who we like, what we want in people and stuff like this, and it keeps that pool of people that we date and know very, very small and limited. And what happens when we date one person at a time, we tend to keep dating the same person, the same type of person. The key here is not to commit right away. When we date one person at a time, we tend to keep dating that same type of person, and what that is our own emotional self-worth. So what we think about ourselves emotionally, what we're worth, is what we tend to date, okay? And if we don't figure this out and we date one person at a time, which is about 6 months, maybe a year, do you see how it, and then we finally date someone else, one other person, and we're just going to keep looking for that same person. It's better if we have an array of people to choose from. If we are just, you know, say I'm single right now, I don't know anybody, and say I meet, you know, 3-4 girls in the next 2-3 months, and I just kind of go out on dates with them and keep it simple. I kind of see what I like and don't like. Whereas if I date one person, what happens is I kind of have that black and white thinking, like, okay, is this the person for me forever or not? You know, and it's like, you may not know that yet. There's things you need to build. One person every 6 months or a year and a half or 2 years, it takes too long to find out what you like. The key here, the real key here, is what we need to do is take our time, the time needed to work on our own personal development and not go from one relationship to the next. We shouldn't be doing that. If we're committed in one relationship with one person for a while, and you know, especially if it went wrong, if it was bad, you know, I don't mean just break up. That's okay. That happens. We break up, we're nice about it, we didn't hurt each other, we gave each other closure, we may stay friends, whatever it is. But abusive relationships that end horribly in a massive failed relationship, you have to know what's going on. You have to know why. You have to know what went wrong. And for anyone in a failed relationship, there is always more personal development needed. Okay, so if you that's why I say don't date right away. If you have a failed relationship, take time to find out, start working on yourself and things, okay? Heal from that. Because so many people are going from one relationship right to the next. Okay, and I know plenty of non-narcissists that do this. Plenty of you guys that do this. Working on our own self, it just brings about awareness of what's going on, who we are, why, what we can change and fix, what we need to work on. So I've said this before, and this is important. I want you guys to know this, that we all have a human mind. Okay, and we're almost kind of working against it sometimes. We need to work with it, and that's by knowing what's going on. Know that there's 2 things that evolution has determined in our brains. There's only 2 things that our minds are concerned about: staying alive and procreating. That staying alive part's that voice that keeps telling you, oh God, watch out for this, watch out for that. Right now, when you're traumatized out of this relationship, it's huge. So through this, we have learned through society and stuff, we seek attachment with people. So everyone seeks some kind of attachment. Almost everyone, unless a real avoidant people, like avoidant personality disorder. But most all of us seek attachment, even narcissists. So back to the title. Know that when we're in love, our brains look the same as when we are on drugs. Okay? Same as on drugs. So it has a lot of the same effects. Okay? So what is love? What is love? For you guys that don't really know. And you know, doctors are still totally studying this. It's not absolutely determined what exactly love is. But what we do know, that it's not just an emotion. Love isn't just an emotion, but a drive from the motor of our mind. Chemicals, hormones, things like this. So there are hormones and chemicals that trigger arousal, motivation, desire, okay, to be with a person more. This is what happens when we start falling in love with somebody. It triggers these things. These hormones rise and fall, such as dopamine and norepinephrine. And this causes, this makes extra motivation, more intense energy. If you were to trigger this part of your mind while you're trying to learn and study, you'll be able to do it way better. So it just really intensifies in our energy and focus and motivation into this, into the other person. That's what these hormones do. Oxytocin, another hormone, rises. It helps us with commitment and trust. It helps us stay together. Okay? Serotonin lowers. And when we're in love, it lowers, which makes us more obsessive. That's a problem with people that have OCD. Their serotonin's low. They obsess on things. Okay? If you guys have people that obsess on you like I do, I have tons of people that obsess on me now because of this channel. Some good, some bad. Obviously, their levels of serotonin are very low. And that might, think about this when you come out of this horrible, traumatic relationship. Your serotonin levels are very low. So you're still obsessing on your ex if you're not with someone else. That attachment makes you obsess and ruminate, things like this. Because, and the oxytocin makes us want to go back to them, but that drops immensely. After the relationship is over, just like when you get off the drugs, the oxytocin drops. Okay? Serotonin. So, serotonin lowers still. It can after trauma. The dopamine and things like this, norepinephrine, lowers. So you guys have no motivation, no energy, poor focus, attention, memory, obsessive. Okay? The low oxytocin makes you guys want to isolate, stay at home, not trust anyone. What we tend to do for a while is what we want to do, keep doing. If you guys don't have sex, it's like a year, something like that, humans don't have sex, typically don't really want to anymore. Okay, so a lot of things are going on here, and you guys got to know this so that you know that you have another part of your brain that you're fighting, and you have, because of this the damage caused by this relationship you guys are in, that there's hormones that are falling, rising, and chemicals. I mean, there's even serotonin, or cortisol. Cortisol is your stress chemical. That even rises a little bit, and that's why when you fall in love, you get the sweaty and nervous. It makes it intense, man. So be aware of our human minds, what is going on with them, so we are not ruled by it, but instead we are in control of our minds, our thoughts, our body, most of all, our future. Okay? Okay? I talk a lot about this, about being in control of your emotions and thoughts and stuff like this. You guys can do this. This is the only thing I could do to make myself feel. All right? And this is what you guys are going to do. Make yourself feel it works. You have to. You have to. Okay? Any questions about this? Please go down below and ask me anything you want. If you guys could please help me by sharing this video on your social media accounts, forums, groups, things like that. Give it to people who are serial dating or, recovering from abusive relationships and think they're never going to find love again or don't want to ever again. You're going to find a lot of these, you guys are going to say a lot of these statements. I want to be single for the rest of my life. I'm never going to find someone. all these things, and try to understand that your experience in life makes you feel this way or think this, okay? And the more you think it, the more it becomes true, okay? Thanks, guys. Love yourself first. We'll see you later. Bye.